The egg in the Dream SMP seems to be able to, at least to an extent, control the people it infects, no matter who the person is. Despite of this, Tommy and Tubbo recently visited the egg, and Tommy was completely unaffected by its powers, even though he wasn't wearing Church Prime gear. I mean, I'm not sure if Tubbo is also immune because of the bit where he cried because the egg was being mean to him. That was just incredibly confusing in terms of canonical stuff, but we'll talk about that later in the video. Now, were Tommy and Tubbo unaffected because of their position in the plot, or is it something else? Well, I think I found a pretty solid link to another cause, which in this video we'll theorize about. Before the video starts, I want to say that this video is sort of like a part 1 to a much bigger theory that involves the egg, the syndicate, wars, resurrection, and much more. So if that does in fact interest you, I would recommend subscribing and turning on post notifications so you get notified when I upload them. Enjoy the video. Now, a lot, and I mean a lot of people have suggested that Tommy and possibly Tubbo are immune to the egg simply because of plot armor, or them being main characters. And look, it may be a funny joke to throw around, I hardly think this is the case. Although they are indeed important to the story and arguably the main characters of their own parts, I think there might be a much more understandable and logical reason as to why they're immune to the egg's influence. And yes, we are very sure that they were close enough to the egg to be infected. Just look at these clips. Tommy stood directly on top of the egg and he wasn't affected at all. They apparently heard the egg speak to them, but there wasn't really any issue like the egg hijacking their minds or any influencing issue either. So then, why exactly are they immune to the egg's effects? Well, to understand why people are unaffected by the egg's powers, let's take a look at something else that is shown to detrimentally affect the egg: Church Prime. Items, gear, and even water from Church Prime seems to block out the negative effects of the egg. Church Prime water cleanses infected things, Church Prime gear protects the wearer from the egg's influence, and etc. Now then, you might be asking, why are you mentioning Church Prime when we're talking about people? Well, I want to draw your attention to its history. Church Prime was originally a joke that happened mainly on Tommy's stream, where they essentially created Twitch Prime counterparts of certain concepts in Christianity. For example, Amen was replaced with PogChamp, the Bible was replaced with the TOS, which is the terms of service of Twitch obviously, and Dream was a self-proclaimed God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. Talk about power, and yet he still builds dirt shacks when being called out for being homeless. Again, this isn't really a reason for them to be immune to the egg, but there's much more. I think they're immune to the egg because during these joke-filled events, which were absolutely hilarious by the way, I'm going to link the video in the description, Tommy was picked by Dream, aka God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit, to be the chosen one.
Who said that? That was the terms of service came out of me.
He's the one.
He's the one. I'm the one.
And Tubbo was cleansed. Both were, at least to an extent, touched by the god of Church Prime, which just happens to prevent the egg's effects. I think this is the reason on why Tubbo and Tommy are immune, even though at the time it seemed like nothing more than a joke. This chosen one concept at first glance seemed like it meant that Tommy would be spreading the religion, just like in many real-life religions where people chosen by God were messengers that spread said religion. And yeah, that was originally what Tommy was going to do, but since we're dealing with a mind-controlling dream and egg, I think this chosen one concept also makes Tommy immune to the dream and influence. I feel like this theory is further cemented by Fundy's canonical statement of the egg having dream and origins.
And this is a stretch, all right? He may or may not have gone completely crazy. And a dreamin' may or may not have made use of that. Because there was one point, before all of this mucus was here, that I saw this egg without anything around it. This egg was just here.
And if the egg does in fact have dream and origins, then in that case the one person being closest to God should be able to just be, immune to these effects. Now onto Tubbo. Well, some people think that Tubbo was infected, though Bad Boy Halo and others have said before that when a person comes into close contact with the Bloodvines, they either hate the egg or love it. And I feel like Tubbo was just doing a bit where he acted sad, since the egg was seemingly being mean to him. So I think, at least for now, the fact that Tubbo is infected or not is sort of up to debate, but if he isn't infected and actually is immune, then the Dream SMP members might have an actual fighting chance against the egg. Plus, it's been a while since Tubbo went down there and visited the egg, and he still doesn't seem to show any infected vibes. So I think for now, we're good. As I've mentioned in the beginning of this video, this is sort of like a part 1 to a much bigger theory, which involves the egg, the syndicate, lots of stuff basically. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that the link between Tommy and Tubbo being touched by the god of Church Prime and then being immune is actually solid, or do you think that something completely different has caused this? Comment down below. I respond to comments very frequently, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. Stay safe.